Welcome to InnerGLOW, the podcast that helps you to ditch anxiety, judgment, stress, and self-doubt, and instead embody ease, confidence, flow, abundance, and self-love. I'm your host, Bhavna Meg, mindset and energy coach, and founder of Stepping Into You. I work with individuals just like you on emotional, mental, and energetic levels to help you to fall in love with yourself and glow from the inside out. Welcome everyone to our first guest interview, and I'd love to introduce you to Deb from Brimming With. Hello, Deb.
Hi, Bab.
Welcome to InnerGLOW.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure. We've obviously said to each other, we've got no idea what we're going to talk about. And the title of this episode is definitely going to come after we've finished having a chat, which is pretty fun. Tell me a little bit about what you do and what's Brimming With all about.
Okay, so
And a little bit about you. I'll load the questions up.
Okay. Like we said, we have no idea what we're going to be talking about. Yeah, so I have a business called Brimming With. And really, Brimming With is a space for creation of lots of different things. And when I was thinking about the business name, it sort of took me a while to come up with that business name. And it popped up, spontaneously. I think it popped up overnight one night when I was sleeping. And it really represents for me how I like to live my life.
Mm.
And that is brimming with all sorts of different things. And yeah, it really just fits because actually within my business, I do a few different things. So I'm an access bars practitioner and facilitator. And then I also do some software development, so like website development and whatnot. So it's kind of a multifaceted business, and that really reflects how I like to live my life.
Amazing. I love that.
Yes.
As you know, very much like me, you've got a lot of random things that I do.
Yeah.
Let's just share a little bit about some of the things that you love doing. Before you do, I'd met Deb probably a little under a year ago, and we met through a community group here on the Sunshine Coast. And we just connected really well. So connected on we do random things level, but also just on a friends level and wanting to create a life for ourselves that is very much more self-sustainable.
And community focused.
Yeah, very much community focused. And having lived on the coast now for just over a year, and even when I was living in Brisbane, community's always been so important to me. It's the people around you that will look after and love you and care for you. And living on the other side of the planet to my family, that's extra, extra, extra important. So tell me something about you that you absolutely love and would dearly miss if you couldn't do it every single day or every single week.
Oh, wow. There's so many things. So yeah, I like to do lots of different things. So I do Latin dancing, I do African drumming. I'm very much a nature lover. So pretty much every morning, thankfully, since moving to the Sunshine Coast, you'll find me down at the beach, either swimming or walking or just taking in the sunrise. Really, nature and especially the ocean is my place of just sanctity, really. It's such a beautiful routine, and it's really not a routine because I don't really do routines, but it's such a beautiful thing for me to get up in the morning, go outside, take some time in nature, walk along the beach, ground myself, look out over the ocean, watch the sunrise, take some breath and just be in gratitude. So yeah, nature's super important to me. If I spend more than, a day inside, I kind of get cabin fever.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
So definitely nature, love walking, love hiking, and love traveling.
Mm.
And there hasn't been so much of that on the radar over the
Mm.
last couple of years. But yeah, travel and languages are some of my other passions. There's so many. And I think this is why I've not really focused on any one thing, because I just love so many things and I really enjoy having the variety
Mm.
too. I kind of get
Yeah.
bored easily. So having all these different things that can contribute and do contribute so much to my life, especially things like dancing and drumming, which are very much community focused as well.
Yeah.
I've got like really beautiful social groups that I've met through both of those things. So what else? Oh gosh. So I really enjoy aerial yoga. So that,
Definitely getting an idea of the brimming with.
yeah, brimming with so many things. Yeah, aerial yoga. I'm going to talk a little bit about that because that's something that a lot of people kind of haven't heard of. So I guess a lot of people nowadays are into yoga and there's so many different types of yoga. And I came across aerial yoga through a beautiful yoga studio in Brisbane called Bend and Fly, which I'm going to give a shout out to because they're awesome. If you're in Brisbane, please go and visit Dan and the team at Bend and Fly. So yeah, I came across aerial yoga at Bend and Fly, and basically it's yoga, but with the use of an aerial hammock. So that's a hammock that's suspended from the ceiling.
Hmm.
It's a little bit like aerial silks, if you've ever seen that at circus performances.
Yeah, I've seen that. And I think when you first told me about it, that's what I had in my head. But I've since learned it's a little different.
Yeah. So it's similar to that, but instead of having two separate silks, it's a hammock that's attached to the ceiling at 2 points. So aerial's really cool because one, you get to be up in the air. You get to go upside down, which I love because I'm a little bit of a monkey. You can do things that you can do on aerial silks like dance moves. Can be really a beautiful choreography if you're flexible enough and you can get your brain around the complicated maneuvers that are sometimes required to do those things.
Mm.
It's a lot of fun. It's great for your flexibility. It's great for strength. And there's also this beautiful element to it whereby in some of the positions that we use in aerial yoga, you can find yourself cocooned within the hammock. And that's such a beautiful space for, regulating your nervous system, for really bringing down your levels of adrenaline and just relaxing into the coziness of the hammock. Yeah. So I guess one of the things that really strikes me about aerial is that it's multifaceted. And again, that reflects how I like to live my life.
I love it. And we were talking about aerial yoga the other day, and particularly that cocooning. And immediately for me, it creates the visual and the sensation of being in the womb. So that sensation of being in that safe space, being in a very nurturing space is what part of that would be, is what it would elicit to an extent. And we were talking about it in the context of creating emotional releases and how there's so many traumas that we're holding in our body, and these different positions have the potential and capacity to open those spaces up for that release to happen.
Absolutely.
Now, you mentioned a couple of things that I wanted to go back to. So you're saying how you don't like the word routines. And I'm very much on the same page as you. My planner is all about rituals and having daily rituals, and how considering things that we do and have a regular practice with as a ritual instead of a routine creates a sense of ceremony around it, creates a sense of sacred around it, that we are doing something for ourselves. And it's a conversation that I've had with friends who also don't like routines, to help them to switch the context in building healthy rituals into their life. They've loved it. And I was like, I'm onto something here.
That's actually such a beautiful word. And that was the word that I was searching for when I was mentioning that before, and it just wasn't quite coming into my mind. But yeah, the idea of a ritual is so much more rich than
Yeah.
routine, because routine kind of gives you the impression of, okay, it's something that I have to do at the same time every day. It's something, well, that I have to do or that I should do.
Mm.
Whereas ritual has so much more of a sense of, help me out here,
Well, it's
Beth.
the
The only word that's coming to my mind is richness
yeah, and I find it has more
sacredness.
presence.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
there's this essence, there's an element of being in yourself with that particular practice, that activity, and there's an honoring that you're doing for you in practicing that thing. And some of my daily rituals are, I have a morning tonic that I take to stir my digestive fires and to feed my body and get everything started and alive in the morning. It's my ritual.
Mm.
Granted, it doesn't happen every single day, but it's something that when I do it, it's something that I know that I'm doing to honor my body
Mm-hmm.
and with everything else as well. So again, in my planner, there's activities, there's physical activities, and I will consider those rituals. It's like, okay, this is something that I've done for myself today. Not because I had to, and that energy of not having to
But desiring to.
desire, yes,
Mhm. And for
absolutely.
that thing to be a contribution to your life, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, it's such a massive energy shift from routine.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. And then the other thing you're talking about is gratitude. And I've forgotten in what context you mentioned it.
I think it was about walking along the beach.
That's right.
There's
Yes.
there's something about, and I
And
actually,
being in nature.
yeah, I actually typically have like just incredible sense of gratitude when I'm in nature. And for the last couple of weekends, I've been going to a beautiful meditation gathering, which is called The Sit. I'm going to give them a shout out too.
None of these are sponsored, Dad.
They're not sponsored at all. They're just
Wait,
things
just
that I absolutely love. So
community shout outs.
absolutely. So the Sit is a gathering that happens mostly in New South Wales at the moment, actually, on different beaches up and down the coast of New South Wales. We're quite lucky that there's one that has started up in Mooloolaba here on the Sunshine Coast. So every Saturday morning at 6:30, groups gather and just do a short meditation outside on the beach. And we've been lucky enough the last couple of weeks to witness the most incredible sunrises. And both weeks, I've just had this overwhelming sense of gratitude for not only the nature that's presenting itself in front of me, but also for myself and my choices, the choices that have brought me to be in the space where I can experience these incredible things.
Mm.
And actually that's something that's really kind of shone through over the last maybe even just month or so, is that sense of gratitude, not only for things that are external to me, but also for myself. And that's been quite a shift, actually.
Yeah, massive. I love that. We were talking, so maybe last week's episode or the one before, exploring sliding doors, and the movie Sliding Doors, and the choices that we've made or believe we haven't made. I mean, that was getting the train or missing the train. But the choices that we've made that have led us to be in this very moment and experiencing and feeling into the gratitude of that.
Mhm.
Because being in the gratitude of that, whether those choices have been challenging or amazing, whether they've been experienced loss through them or experienced incredible amounts of love and gain, whatever they have been, they've led you to this very moment here. And as you said, sitting on the beach in those meditations, experiencing nature, experiencing within yourself of everything that you are. And from there, we can feel into the appreciation of everything that has existed. And this connected into a conversation around regret. And to be in complete gratitude for where you are, who you are, and everything that is right now, it really makes it impossible to experience regret. for anything that has happened in your life. Because if any one thing had shifted, as in the sliding doors movie, it could be completely different right now. Not to say that this completely different wouldn't be amazing as well,
Mm.
but if you're feeling in complete gratitude for everything that is right now, why would you want to change anything that's happened in the past?
Yeah, beautiful.
And I see so many people in that space where it's, oh, I regret this, I regret this, I regret this. It's like, okay, well, what are you not grateful for right now? Or what can you be more grateful for in your life right now?
And also, what else can you choose from
Absolutely.
this space?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because there's so much that's available to us. And just because we've made a choice in the past doesn't mean that we can't choose again. We can absolutely choose again. And I'm going to kind of go off into another aspect of what I do, because what I just said is very much related to what we talk about a lot in Access Consciousness.
Before we continue with the next part of the show, if what I've shared with you today is resonating with you, leave a review. It goes a long way to help share the love with others who are going through the same things and would benefit from the tips and tools to turn on their inner glow. Another way to share the love is by making a donation at patreon.com/stepping into you to share your love with me and with others.
So I mentioned before that I'm an Access Bars practitioner and facilitator. And Access Bars is a beautiful energetic modality, which is super, super relaxing. And it's a light touch point therapy where the practitioner touches 32 points on the head. It sounds really simple, and it is actually really simple to learn and to perform. Anyone can do it, kids can do it. But the change that bars can create, the relaxation, the receiving, it's actually quite phenomenal. Just receiving, I mean, I say just, but a lot of us don't actually know how to receive anymore. We're so used to giving and doing for others that just that simple or seemingly simple act of receiving is something that's quite foreign to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the beauty with the bars comes in, because you lie down on a table and you are gifted this beautiful session, and the change that occurs, it's through what you're allowing yourself to receive.
Absolutely. And when I actually received a couple of bars sessions, I had phenomenal experiences in the first one, and it was in a workshop. So I was receiving and giving as well with the lady that I was partnered with. And in the first one, which I'm a regular meditator, but I was gone. I was out of my body. I don't even know where I was. I had a little gentle pat on my shoulders and I came back. In the second one, I realized that the facilitator was actually giving some instructions during, and I had to make sure that I stayed in my body.
That's actually really common. So for me, one of the most common experiences that I have when I have my bars run is that I just go to sleep, or I do leave my body.
Now, we're not talking about, how was I going to say that? We're not talking about dark.
Dissociating. None of that.
Very much on a spiritual level, our consciousness has the ability to be anywhere. It absolutely resides in this physical body of ours, but we can be in any space or time that we choose to be.
It's so much bigger than our bodies, than our physical bodies.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm actually doing some remote viewing training at the moment, and it's pretty cool. So I'm doing it with a friend of mine, and they're online classes, and we've done some of the practice runs. So we've done the first 3 levels of the remote viewing workshop, and then there's target coordinates. So you write these coordinates down, and then you start to decipher them. So is this thing a man-made or a natural thing? Is it a mountain or what does that, so you're starting to pull the information from this particular target. And as we've done it, as we've been practicing, our responses have become much more aligned, and we've been seeing the same sort of stuff. And then in the actual program, you can click to reveal where it actually was. So you can see the information about what the target was, where the target site was, or what if we've actually had a site that was blown up. I think there was a nuclear bomb there, but it was 5 years after whatever kind of bomb it was, over a century ago.
Wow.
So this is our capacity and capability to be able to take our consciousness to a completely unknown space and time.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Just with some numbers. And so how do these target numbers work? The target numbers are completely random numbers, but they're intentioned to a particular time and space.
Oh, wow.
Which is freaking
that is mind-blowing.
Which is completely wild. And there's plenty of people that know how to do this, and it's been a practice that has been used by at least the US Secret Services, military, some, CIA type agencies. They've trained people how to do this. They've worked with a long time ago. Maybe I don't know if she would still be alive now, actually, but they worked with a lady and they tested her to see if she was legit. So this was the first time they'd come across remote viewing. They tested her by asking her to read the ID number on a bit of metal that was on a telescope in space.
Goodness.
So the tag number from a piece of equipment. And she gave it.
That's phenomenal.
Exactly.
But having said all of that, like that kind of sounds like awareness and perception is only for specific people, right?
Absolutely not.
But yeah, we're all capable. We all have the capacity to do this kind of thing. We all have our own awareness. And the more we actually, I guess, trust in that, and the more that we believe that we have the capacity to do these things and to be aware of not just what we can see, not just what we can hear, but energy.
Yeah.
That's everywhere in the planet.
Absolutely.
The more we actually realize that we are capable.
Yeah, absolutely. And quantum sciences are showing us more and more that everything is energy.
Absolutely.
And how everything is connected, quantum entanglement. And when we can really feel into that and the reality of that, which isn't just a reality because science is now proving it, it always has been. It always has been a reality. For those of you that are listening that have had and received or do energy practices, healing, and are practitioners, you're totally aware of this. But for those of you that are not, think about perhaps your intuition when you walk into a room and you get the feels that something's not right, or you get the feel that there's a nice vibe. We use the word vibe in the more mainstream kind of language. It's like, oh yeah, we've got a good vibe, or that place had a good vibe. That's how our energy body is responding to the environment. When we feel comfortable, when we feel safe, when we feel fun, those are all responses that we're getting and feedback that we're getting energetically from the environment. And to really be in appreciation of that, not just when you're going out, not just in this particular moment or that particular moment, but that is happening all the time.
Absolutely. We are so much more aware than we give ourselves credit for.
Yeah. And it's the switching off of that leads us to feel disconnected. And I have got massive amounts of experience in not listening to my intuition. And then on the failed side of that, on the failed side of the wonderful learning that I received from that, I tell myself, oh, I should have listened to my gut because it felt
You
like,
knew.
yeah, I
You
knew.
knew.
I knew in every part of my body and being that the thing that I was not wanting to do was not the right thing, even though everything around me was telling me that I should do that thing. And the more and more that I have practiced listening to that feeling, that sensation, the more and more it makes noise.
Absolutely.
And the more and more it makes noise, the more and more, and you continue to listen to it and follow that feeling and sensation, the more aligned you feel, the more connected you feel, a feeling more flow. Like there's just so much more ease in life.
And I find for me that the more that I follow that, the more that opens up. And the more that opens up, that actually lights me up and brings me joy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think it's the contrast of, well, life's supposed to be hard. No, that's a belief.
What if life was supposed to be fun?
Easy.
Absolutely.
And I think there's just so much more curiosity and lightness in that
Absolutely.
than expecting things to go wrong.
Yeah.
Why? What's the point? It's a waste of energy. If you choose that, then,
It's a choice.
all up to you. But it is, as you said, it is a choice. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Those of the listeners that would love to come and experience some access bars with you or even a workshop, what have you got coming up and how can they do that?
I've got 2 classes coming up actually. So the first one is going to be down on the New South Wales Central Coast on Monday, the 27th of June. So we've got a beautiful space down there and it's going to be a lovely day. I've also got another one coming up in Brisbane on the 17th of July, which is a Sunday. So I'd love you guys to join me and come and experience the beautiful access bars.
And for those of you that would love to do some work with Deb, experience access bars or attend an access bars class to learn how to do it yourself and to be able to give to others, you can click on the link in the description under the podcast for this episode, and that will take you to Deb's page where she'll have her dates listed for her upcoming events, or you can get in touch with her to have your bars run. Thank you again for being on the show today.
Thanks so much, Bev, for having me.
Look forward to doing this again with you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Join me next week for episode 21, Letting Go of Resentment. Thanks for joining me today, and be sure to subscribe at steppingintoyou.com/innerglow so you don't miss any glowing possibilities. And if you'd love to support InnerGLOW, you can make a donation at patreon.com/innerglow. Sending you love, hugs, and magic.